This is the tabletop launcher. It's a fantastic, small, compact, totally self-contained launcher. You can hide it anywhere for a great surprise effect. This is the way it'll be shipped to you. There are two versions here. The one on the right-hand side is a wireless version with a transmitter and a receiver. The one on the left-hand side is a wired version. The wire actually runs to the unit itself. You stand back around 20 feet, push the button, and it goes off. I'm going to run through the setup on each one of these. These are the parts you'll be looking for when you unpack the wired launcher. The barrel, the launcher base, the power pack, the push button, and the CO2 cartridge. The first step in setting up the wired version of the tabletop is to actually connect the wires. The top of the receiver, you'll notice, has two ports. One of them is a 3-pin and one of them is a 2-pin. The two wires that we're connecting, the first one comes off of the launcher, and it's a 2-pin. And the push button detonator is a 3-pin. So what we want to do is we want to line up, find the proper port. 2-pin is right here from the launcher. You put it in gently and then twist it back and forth until it drops into the keyway. There you go. And then push it on down, and there's a little ring, a locking ring right here. We push the locking ring down and turn it. That locks the wire in firmly. We do the exact same thing on the other side. This is a 3-pin, goes into the 3-pin receiving port. Put it in, twist it around gently until it pops down into the keyway, and then go ahead and twist your locking ring. Now you've got the two cords connected, and we're ready for the next step. Now that we have the wires connected, we're going to go ahead and attach the barrel and the CO2. The barrel fits into this side here. You'll notice that this has a screw in for the CO2, and this has a spring-loaded locking ring. How we attach the barrel is we pull the spring-loaded ring down, stick the barrel in, make sure it's firm, and we let the ring go. Then we're going to pull on the barrel to make sure that it's locked in. We don't want the barrel to be loose or to fly out when we fire it. The next step would be go ahead and screw the CO2 in. You're going to screw the CO2 in quickly all the way down. It may hiss a little bit when it pierces, but that's okay. Just keep screwing until the hissing stops. Okay, we're all set up. I think congratulations are in order. You have just set up a wired tabletop launcher. We have our wires into the power pack's connected, the CO2 is in, and the barrel's firmly connected to the launcher base. To fire it, quite simple at this particular point, all we're going to do is press the on-off button that's in the front of the power pack. Press it and hold for just a half a second, and then you'll notice that the LED is flashing intermittently. No pattern to it, it's just flashing green. It means it's on and ready to go. The only thing left to do is to actually push the button, which I'm going to do right now. And that's how you set up the wired tabletop launcher. Next, we're going to do the wireless tabletop launcher. This is how you'll receive the wireless tabletop launcher. The barrel, the launcher base, the transmitter, the receiver, and of course the CO2. The first thing we're going to do in setting up the wireless system is to attach the launcher wire to the receiver. The launcher wire is attached to the valve, and that's going to be plugged into the receiver. Now the receiver has two ports on the top. There's a 3-pin and a 2-pin. The wire coming off the launcher base is a 2-pin wire. We're going to gently put that down onto the top and then turn it back and forth until it pops into the keyway. Once it pops in, we're going to turn the ring, the locking ring, to lock the wire in. This will hold it in so it won't come out. Okay, after we have the receiver hooked up to the launcher base, the next step is to attach the barrel and the CO2. The CO2 goes on the side where the threads are, and it just screws right on in. Now you're going to keep turning this down and screwing it in until you're going to feel resistance, but keep going. It might hiss just a little bit, but that's all right. Just keep turning until it's snug and tight all the way down. no noise, hissing is stopped. The little bit that escapes, a little bit of gas that escapes is not going to affect your shot. On the other side, there is a ring, a snap ring. It's on a spring. You take the barrel and you set it on top of here. You pull the snap ring down, you seat the barrel in and let the snap ring pop back up. Then you pull on the barrel to make sure that it's firmly seated and locked in. We don't want it to come flying off when we shoot the confetti. The next step would actually be to turn on the receiver and the transmitter. The receiver has an on-off button in the front of it. We just push it and hold it for a second, and you'll notice that it will start, the LED will start flashing intermittently. There's no pattern to it, it just flashes. Indicates that it's on. All right, we're very, very close to firing. The last step we have to do is to turn on the transmitter and arm the receivers. We have to get them to communicate with each other. The transmitter has a large red button on the left-hand side. We push the red button, and the screen is going to say, enter PIN. A PIN is an unlock code. The PIN is 792. You enter 792, it says PIN accepted, and the screen changes over to enter RAU. RAU stands for receivers. All the receivers have been pre-programmed according to your specifications before they were shipped. So there's nothing to do there. What we want to do now is we want to arm the system and get these two pieces of equipment talking to each other. To do that, we press the W button. It'll say arm 1, disarm 2. We want to arm 1. We press 1, arming. Now you'll notice that the LED on the receiver is not flashing anymore. It's burning constantly, steady. That means it's communicating with the transmitter. If you have one receiver or 10, they will all go on steady. That means we're ready to fire. The firing sequence is G1 send. When you take your finger off the send button is when it fires. So we'll do it now. G1 send. I'm going to step back here just a little bit. And there it is. We have successfully set up and fired the wireless tabletop system. Thank you.